Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the canyon. Welcome back to what I promised to you is not something already in progress. I came to the decision between the first installment of It Came From the Workbench Vol.30 and this installment. Why am I zoomed in so much? That what we were going to do is the ghost ride will be like in the mustard format. So get the body fitted. Then we can drive it, test it, go from there. So I have, as of right about now, looking at my watch, I've got 4 hours, maybe 5. We could go 4 to 5 hours. I got my cup of tea. We've got 4 to 5 hours, and I'm going to take you along. What you've missed is me frantically digging through every parts bin I can find. Oh, by the way, to everyone who pointed out, yes, indeed, diff lock servos. Right there. It's really close to this link. Like really, really close. Like touching it. Also, I don't know how it would work. If you're familiar with the Traxxas diff locks at all, there are very specific lengths of the locking cables. And that front cable would be like this long. I don't know if there's one that short. Anyway, I had no intention. I went through all the work to spool this. So I definitely never considered lockers for it. But what I did find while bin digging, look at that. 2-speed bracket. That is a 2-speed bracket. We might, right? We might convert this thing to 2-speed. We still don't know what motor is going to go in it. We might be able to pinion up and get away with a 1200 if we have a 2-speed, because then our low will be like creeping. So we've got to get a body fitted, and this is what I've spent the last 40 minutes doing. See this gent right here? That gent right there mounts. This is the 10-3 rear bumper mount. He goes in just like that. So what you're missing is the other one. I searched every box, bin, drawer, anything I could think of to try to find this. That one? That one was in the body mounts drawer. Just dropped right up. I'll look through the element bin, the axial bin, the vanquish bin, the red cat bin. Every bin I've got. I can't find it. I don't know where it is. So that brings us to a problem. I mean, the hole spacing on this and the hole spacing on this are not the same. So I have to commit. The little pins fit right in. Like, we're good. But the hole is well forward. The TRX4 holes are close very spacely together. So I'm going to have to ream out that front hole or ream out the back hole or oval them both so that I can get this to fit in here. The width is correct, and I think it's going to fit just fine. And sadly, so I located the stock rear bumper. I found like all the pieces except that piece. So with this mount, it goes together just like it should. Wouldn't it be nice if I could find the other one? But it might be gone. I don't. There's nowhere else to look. So I dug through the old slash bins. I thought first we can take some Vanquish, these boys, which are just the body positioners for a Phoenix. Cut those down. Then I found these vintage RPM for a slash, and they fit perfectly into the bumper mounts. They don't have that back spacing. This has the spacing out from the body. That's called spacers, whether I have to turn them. I'm going to figure out what they are, and I'm hoping that it's something around 1/4 of an inch. I can just cut them out of ABS, make some holes in them. We have many holes to choose from. And we're just going to plug holes through the back of the body and mount those body posts, because if I get the front body posts, if I get the rear body posts mounted, then we can work on getting the front. We're gonna use the back posts to position the body on the frame, because if we get it spaced just right, this guy will center up, and then the front is academic, baby. I'm hoping to use aluminum L for that front. So this is why filming goes boop to boop to boop to boop to boop. If this kept running, it's gonna be 30 to 40 minutes to get these done and mounted to this. And it's not a matter of getting creative. It's a matter of reaming the holes in the frame so that I can bolt this in place and not worry about it anymore. Or not reaming holes in the frame. Thank you for coming along with me, everybody. You have helped me to an immense degree. Axial uses a positioning pin and then a hole. Well, we're just going to take our buddy, the knife here. You can hear that flying around. We are going to trim this off. I'll clean it up a little more. We're just going to trim that off, and we're going to do it the same way I did the mounts on the Lolo, which is I'll put it into the frame, bolt it down tight with the front hole, remove the rear tie. It just hit me. It struck me full force that this is one of those showable moments. You take a razor knife, you shave the pins off. You then use the forward holes to bolt this boy down tight. You have ample opportunities to mess it up, because what you can do is you can bolt it down, and then when we drill the holes in it, that's almost in frame. When we drill the holes, it might be tilted. So we're going to try to get it even-ish. That looks pretty good. Let's frame again. This is how technical we get. The most sophisticated piece of equipment in the shop, I don't know, it's probably the camera, or maybe the iPad that we usually be playing Pandora. We are going to go through with what I said. Drilling a straight hole without any kind of guide, I can butcher that. Climb aboard, everybody. I will mess this up. I have mentioned to more than one person in recent days that I didn't start off as like a Funko Pop person, and then all of a sudden there they are. And the problem with the Funko Pop is the nature of the Funko Pop. Like, if you touch them, they usually just fall down. And I love my clutter, but let's go on semi-record. One of the Canyon New Year hopes and or dreams is to rebuild this, the bucket guy. Because if I rebuild it, it has too much of a gap up from the bench. We can shrink that gap down to maybe 3/4 of an inch high. Just so, because there's a bunch of wires running back under there. We can drop that down. We can make the bins squared off on the front. Then we can fit more crap back there. Because I'm not talking about cleaning up for the purposes of, of getting rid of things. I'm talking about cleaning up to give us more room for things. Okay, that looks... We've officially eyeballed it, and I think it looks straight. So we are going to... That is a 2.5 millimeter drill bit, which we follow with a 3 millimeter spiral tap, which has no problem going through substances like nylon. Do I have any 10s out? I do. What? There's that side. We make sure we didn't wiggle it even just a little bit. See, this is where the laziest part of me wishes that I had 3 drills. And I'm not even kidding. I would have a drill with a tap in it, a drill with a drill in it, and a drill with a driver in it. Now, yeah, this is nylon. One, and by one I mean me, could easily just use the screw as the tap. It's not necessary to tap it. I don't know how much help it actually gives it, but... Okay, we are one step closer. Oh, definitely to the edge, baby. Now, we can actually see what the placement looks like with the single pin. There he is. And you put a wheel in it. And yeah, that's that's pretty much dead, which tells me without looking that a 10.3 frame rail and a TRX4 Injora carbon rail probably the same length or thereabouts. I'm hoping that the front will be more straightforward than the rear, though the rear involved so much bin digging to no good effect. We are definitely building a track seal. This is full track seal, because in the spirit of the canyon, building to a body, man, is that what we do? That is what we do. We build to a body. And I had no intention of mounting this body 48 hours ago. Another thing occurred to me, a semi-shower thought. Do I need to strip the paint? I'm painting it on the outside. I just need to take all of the gubbins off, fenders, gas cap lights, handles, all that off, mask it, just paint it. Like, we can use the bumper as a support. It looks close. It looks close. Oh yeah, it's nice. Okay, these have a bit of lean. This is, you know, I'm looking at it from down below. You can't see it because this has a thing we call opacity. I'm going to say it's quarter inch. And I have quarter inch ABS. So one might think, oh, he's going to make some little tricksy spacers. No, I'm not. I am going to cut a big old plank of quarter inch ABS that goes end to end, that goes from there to there, get it mounted, mount it using, so, you know how I'm a belt and suspenders guy? Like, in other operations we'll bolt the transmission to a plate and then bolt that plate to the chassis. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to bolt these to an ABS plate. We're going to get that lined up. I'll make marks through here. We'll mount the ABS plate to these holes, which has the little license plate holder guy, which is a little bent up. We can straighten him out a little bit. We'll bolt that together, and then once we have those holes together, then we will attack that piece of Dremel, that piece of ABS with a Dremel. Did I not go to bed early enough? We will attack that with a Dremel to carve out the 4 grams of weight that we're going to get out of it. And just for funsies, I am going to table saw, etc. I am going to cut that piece. We'll take a scale. We'll throw that unmolested piece of ABS on the scale. We'll weigh it. And then when it's all cut up and nice and getting ready to put in the rig, we'll weigh it again. And I guarantee you, it won't have lost a third of its weight. It will still be like half an ounce. All right, we've got our buddy the scale. We've got our wonderful recycled ABS. You can never tell what thickness you're going to get. They call it quarter inch. This is might be metric. So is this 236? Yeah, this is 236. So they'd gone metric on us with this years ago. When I had first started buying sheets of it to fabricate Scion parts out of, it was quarter inch. We got 2x4 on this one. It is, we go conventional measurements on this, because another thing for the new year that I would love to do is there's an adhesive tape measure on the crossbar on my table saw that the fence rides on. I know that Rockler sells them that are standard measurement on one side and metric on the other. Setting my table saw up to do both standard and metric, that's effectively a dream, because I have to do American math conversions This is in pounds. We're not going to get to pounds. Grams. 31. So that's 1 point something ounces, right? 1.09 ounces. Unmolested. It has been slightly molested. Well, we molested it a little. We have 2 lines here, and they were brought to us scientifically, which is I laid this piece down right here, and I marked what approximately looked like the centers of the holes. Then I used my trusty overkill stare-it combination square to make those marks. I used the stare combination square to make a mark in the center. I then denuded the rear of the body. We got it nice and flat. I worked off of these 2 holes. It is 29 millimeters, hole to hole in the center. And luckily, I got this ruler with something else. I bought something, and this ruler was in the package. It has 0.5 millimeter hashes on it, which is luxury. So that mark, we are calling that the center of the vehicle. And because Milwaukee Inksol is very black, I can see it through the body. The camera's not picking it up. We take this piece. It is much easier to mark on the smooth side than it is on the textured side. We have a nice lip that's on the inside of just below, I guess, the like window sill. So I'm going to line those 2 marks up. I wish I could show you that those 2 marks. There we go. There we go. There's a little parallax going. It looks out of center on the camera. Then we use a highly technical procedure where we pinch it, and then we take a pencil and we mark circles. And then there we have 4 holes. And what we do is we look at it and we see how bad we bodged it. This hole that's 1 centimeter. And that's 1 centimeter. And that is 0.95 centimeters. And that is about 1 centimeter. So we are 0.5 millimeter low or high on 1 hole. And what's funny is when I look at it, there we are. It looks wrong, right? I think it's this scratch, which makes it look wrong. So we will punch these. If you don't own an auto punch, get one now. We kind of center and we go. We will punch these. And I haven't decided. ABS holds a thread reasonably well. So I think I will tap them, but when we go to installation and use, I will run longer screws through and we'll put lock nuts on the back. It is holding the whole body on. So we're going to drill those holes. Then we're going to get this mounted to the body temporarily. I'll probably just use 2 screws to mount it to the body. Then we have to find out where these land. That's where the complete lack of science comes in, which is, most of our process, really. 2 screws to get that boy in there should be plenty. Not even the correct length. If we're lucky, we'll only have to put this on and take this off 6 times to get it to fit. These are not quite deep enough. I'll Dremel a little groove in the back of the mount so that we can actually get which way does the pin go? Yeah, I'll Dremel a little groove in the back of the mount so we can get a pin through. We're adapting. We're adapting to fit. Now, how close is that? Needs to be pushed back negligibly. Maybe not at all. Okay, now we're gonna go hyper scientific here. I'm gonna try to show what is happening. I eyeball it, and from whatever this was used on before, there is some remnant of silver Sharpie on the side. The spacer, the silver Sharpie, is right at the top of the spacer like that. That's how technical we're gonna get. So I will locate not the top hole. We'll go to the second hole, and we'll go to the holes 1 away from each end, and we will get lines drawn, and then we will just drill holes, and we'll mount this to it, and we'll see if it needs any washers in between the spacer and the mount. You know, a spacer for our spacer. And then we can get to carving. Did 4 2.5 millimeter holes take off any weight, or is it still 1.09 ounces? It is still 1.09 ounces. Because we're still dealing with numbers that are so small that they basically don't exist. So, I need to make some marks, and I need to drill some holes. Now let's see what we're working with. I spaced the holes. Of course, one of them is kicked out. Another 0.5 millimeter, 0.75 millimeter. So it's probably going to be a little tight to slip in. Their heights look really close. One might dip. I think this one dips a hair lower. 0.5 millimeter. So let's see. And I think we're going to be a little forward. Yeah. We got that little gap, which, honestly, we'll just go by the tire. Yeah, I don't think I'm worried about it. We can push the body back. Just put washers. Push the body back 2 millimeters, I would say. I don't want to try to source that many spacers. I don't know. How do we feel about this gap? Is it like are we talking Tesla panel fitment here, or are we going to do okay? I mean, we're going to get tire interference because the JLU body is narrow, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think that's in there pretty solidly, and it's not a problem to grab flathead 12s instead of 10s and put a couple washers on either one of them while I'm putting them together. It's not really an issue. But what we will do first is we will remove the body from the mount. Yeah, I can space it, and here's the beauty. I can space it by doing the belt and suspenders. I can space it any number of ways. I can put the spacers between this and the bracket. I can put the spacers between the posts and the standoff. I would kind of like to leave the standoff snug against. Ooh, yeah, that's a thought, isn't it? Just put a double-sided tape. Tape it to the body first, which will space it off a little bit. It's a possibility. It fits. Actually, it fits better than I thought it would. I thought we were gonna have a real problem getting that in. It's not bad. It's a completely unnecessary thing that we're having to do here. Oh, and because these are fairly well used, one of these holes is not. It doesn't have the super bite. So when I pull this off, I might mark a line, and we'll put a belt onto our belt and our suspenders, and have 3 screws per side. But I have already made where'd he go? I have made a little mark around this gentleman with pencil. It barely shows up, and I am going to bandsaw off the unnecessary bits. We're gonna take it down from 1.09 ounces to 0.99 ounces. That's gone forever. We'll never see that screw again. Do we line up? Not really. They would overlap. We're just going to deal with it. Hello, spider friend. We will, he was coming at me real quick, like he had to tell me something. Nope. Okay. Just jumped off the bench. All right, dude. Hey. Go about your business, whatever you're doing. So, yes. Let's trim this down and take off that, because we're going to take about 15% off of it. So we'll get down to like 0.9 ounces, something like that. Woo-hoo. I'm not terribly concerned about the weight. As I was cutting and filing, I really began to embrace the idea of proving myself wrong, because there's no losers here in the building. If I'm right, then I wasted my time, and I knew I would. But if I'm wrong, we took a little bit of rear weight off of it, and it almost looks like something someone would make. That hole is a little lower than that hole. Only I'll notice. 0.46 ounces. That's what, hey, yeah, buddy. You know what? I said, the thing weighs 12 grams. I say that I like to be proven wrong, and I'm not lying. I'm a lot happier with that at 12 grams than I am at 31 because we have a sprung, rearmost, kind of high weight. That said, I was digging through I remember I was looking for parts. I found the interior. Can we find a Kronk and put it? Okay, there's the deal. That's the deal between y'alls and me-alls. I can paint this with clear vinyl and fabric on the outside, which will allow me to just use craft paint to repaint the interior to whatever color we desire. Or we can leave it like this and I can just do accents. But there's only one way this is going in here. And that is, if we, as a group, if you guys can find it, if we find a Kronk, I will decapitate that Kronk. And I will put the head on there. And then this thing will be a full realization of its full potential. We will Kronk it. If we don't find a Kronk, we're not putting an interior in it. Okay. I am now going to assemble this. I decided while I was doing the drilling, I'm going to do the washers. I am going to do the washers between the plate and this so that the plate stays snug against the body. Good? Yes. I am also probably going... No, I was going to say I was going to put carpet tape on it, but then I remembered I'm going to have to disassemble it to paint it. No adhesives! That's a good call, y'all. All right, since we've spoken last, I've gone rogue. Because I wanted to use the rear body mount for the JLU. Couldn't find it. Had to fabricate that thing. We all remember that. It was a shorter time for you than it was for me. I wanted to use the front body mounts, and I did remember what they are. They're the little guys that go on the side, and then the body mounts are attached to the sides of the radiator, and they go down through these. You can't track seal that because the block that's mounting the servo, which is kind of required if we want to steer, outside of frame rail to outside of frame rail is 78 millimeters. The nose of a 10.3, here's the butt of a base camp, is 71 millimeters. So there was nothing I could do to get these in tight enough. But I knew what I needed to make. So it was a lot simpler to source, but a lot more difficult to make. Why is it not documented? Because 2 little scraps of Delrin that were on and off of this vehicle 30 times. Because we had to trim it to get it to fit. So 2 little blocks, they're set here. We filed and cut so they would swing in. We chopped some corners of brass off the bumper so we could pull those in. Obviously, the body mount post only sticks down 8 millimeters. The hole, this is a number I need to know. I've lost the caliper. I've lost my mind. The hole is, of course, it's not 5 millimeters. It's about 4.5 millimeters from where it seats, from the shoulder. So, also the hole is 5.5 millimeters. Everybody's got a 5.5 millimeter drill bit laying around. A number 2. A standard number 2 will do in a pinch. I can get this bumper to sit in full snug tight like this, but the lip hangs down a little too low. Rather than cut that, we will trim this back just a little more. Probably just with a Dremel. We'll just try. I'll score a line so that I can try not to drop past that line. We'll get that scored in. It pulls the bumper in so beautiful and tight. This is an OE bumper. Where's the other one? I have a brand new one. So we start off like that, and we cut it down a little ways, because on the 10.3, this goes up over the whole front end. All right. So these need cleaned up, and what I'm going to do, I'm not going to file them thinner. I'm going to leave them the full BC 10 millimeter thick. I'm going to drill, I'm either going to drill a hole or cut a slot so that you just stick the body pin in through the slot, so that the I mean, I could illustrate, I guess. We might have something we can show that with. So you'll put the body pin in like that, vertically like that. It'll just slide in like that. They should be relatively easier-ish than regular 10.3 to get in because we've cut so much of the bumper off. We have interference out the wazoo. We will shape these down. Just hit them on the sander, touch them up. All I am going to do for now is we're going to slot the back bumper mount so that we can get pins on the back. We are going to slot the front bumper mounts so that we can get pins through the front. We are going to adhere this boy down, a little scrap of servo tape. We're going to zip tie all the wires together. We're going to slap a battery right about her, whatever I've got charged. What do I got? Please tell me this Ovonic is charged. It is definitely not. 3.6 volts per cell is 3.628. You know what I think this is a sign? I think this is a sign from the universe. The universe is saying, you know what you should do? 3.6 volts per cell. I had that pile of... oh, we got one left. We got one left to try. 3.71 volts per cell. This is the universe telling me, hey, go eat something, have a think sit, then come back, make your little cut, make your delicate little cuts. I would... The other option was try to chuck this up on the lathe and turn it so that it drops the rear a little more. I think it sits just about right. So we're just gonna have to deal with it. We're gonna figure it out. I am gonna eat some pasta, and then I am going to come into Texas, clean these up, get the front to sit, get the rear to sit, trim the bumper. We'll take a look at it. We'll do this, and then you know what? We're gonna put it on the rocks. It will be it'll be a ghost ride because this is the body that came from something that is dead, but that which is dead can never die. As the Colonel's right over there. He's just ecto-bodied now. So, it's just minutia. That's what these were. This is a block with 3 holes in it. But boy, get into those 3 holes. And we did the same scientific method where I set the body down over the top, and I made pencil lines on each side, kind of lined them up, bodged them together. I think the body sits, it is, my buddy would hate this. If you'd wondered why there are 4 holes in this JLU body, he detested the body mount system that I am recreating. He hated it. So he was like, I was like, it has those mounts. And he goes, I didn't ask. He goes, just drill holes and put body mounts in it. And there we go. I also still have these off to the side. I think, maybe, we might be able to get these on. I might have to chop the ends off, but we might be able to use the TRX4 sliders and skirts, and they might fit the body and it gets kind of a poochy rear. We might be able to pull that in just a little bit. Another option is put a wing off of the chassis side, a little bit of Velcro on it, just to tuck those in. I don't know if it matters. It probably doesn't matter. I would love the look of these sliders on this body. I think they would definitely have to be cut, but they'd be nice. Will be nice, could be nice. We will see. I also, I found the bag that had the other hats, the very German-looking hat, a baseball hat, and the mirrors. We've got the mirrors. So, post-paint, we will throw mirrors on it. But I have little tiny stuff to do, and beyond that tiny stuff, I have to clean up. The mess is continuous, and it surrounds me and us together as a group. Luffy, no drinking on the job. I will get those little cuts made, and it is my final attempt to mess these up so that they don't work anymore. I will measure down 4.5 millimeters, make a line. I want to just notch it with the bandsaw. I mean, that's how simple I want to do these. We will get the body to where it mounts. We will have the electronics affixed. We will do a little bit of a cleanup on the wiring, not too much, because I think a 1200 on full TRX4 is going to be pokey slokey. But I have all the gears after the Diablo self-destruct, and I found the bracket, and I've got a servo. We could 2-speed this. And I would actually kind of like to two-speed this. See, TRX4 on 1200s might be interesting. We have any number of tires to go through and test and try. He's going to run on these. He's going to run with this and this. I'll have it together in what for you is but mere moments. My poor time management skills come through again. We've got the whirl, the charger there because I went into lunch, forgot to put a battery on. Woo! While the battery was charging, it gave me enough time to get the mounts situated. I just touched the bottoms of these to the sander. It's 0.5 millimeter. Funnily, the screws, the pins go in longitudinally instead of transversely, and it actually turns out to be better because you don't have to try to snake your hand between the tire and the bumper mount. You just flip the thing. It's not fun to mount the body. The body fits very snugly, but it's relatively easy to get the back ones in and to get the front ones in. I did indeed just nip them with the bandsaw, cleaned up the edges a little. I'm comfortable with them. They kind of notch right in there. Trim this bumper back. When I get this body set on here, I'm going to be like, look at the tightness there of this particular, of Kronk, the track seal. The hum of the charger because I forgot to put her battery on, and then in desperation, I was like, this video goes live in 3 hours. Let's get it going. Dug through the bag, found a guy that said 4 volts per cell, and ended up in the storage bag. So he's hooked up, and we've got clicky clonky spur, clicky clonky for our boy Kronky. And also, when I found the interior, I think the interior does a bit of keeping the body from pooching out. I still do want to investigate whether or not we can get TRX for sliders onto it. This is like a puzzle box now. And then you kind of got to get one end pinned and then get the other end pinned. I can't even feel if it's in. No, I missed it. I missed it entirely. That's the sound. That's the sound. A puff of dust came out when I got that clip to seat. So I dremeled as threatened. I dremeled the. I didn't put pins in the rear bumper. We should put. Yeah, see, these go. We'll just flip them. These go in super easy. I'm blocking the shot. That's easier than they were factory. These go in vertically like that. It's not too bad. It's getting the body into the holes. That is the super fun part. The rear tire to me looks dead centered in the wheel well. We're right there. The JLU is so narrow, it makes him look absurdly wide. He is 9.5 outside to outside and looks crazy wide. We are going to get, we're going to get noises. There's gonna be noises. He's sitting, let's see the links. He's dropped in the rear. I can already tell the rear shocks need to be moved. A common thread here is me laying the rear shocks down too much. He should sit right about there. I think 2 holes back, and then the springing will probably actually be all right. But he's squatting. He is squatting. So I'm going to try to get that same, so we got a fender gap about 23, 24 millimeters. Yeah. I'm going to go back 2 holes. And you're going to, he's very sleepy. And I think that would cause unnatural weight transfer. Yeah, we could maybe go firmer in the front. It's sitting past level, like his links go like this, so the chassis is down. He's got a ton of ground clearance. And when you're running G2s in the front, it's almost like having a mini mullet because your breakover and your clearance in the back is actually better. So I am going to see... I'm going to have to take the body off. I'm going to have to take the body off again to stand those shocks up because This is the first time he's had his body attached and put together, and that is element greens. They're too soft. We will see if the rate is too soft or if it's just that they're laid down too far. We will make the one change here and just the fronts feel okay. We'll just stand them up a little bit in the rear, and we're going to get this on the rocks, and because I got to get this into the editing machine. Open ground, wide open, he's about 2.5 miles an hour. So it is really geared for a 2-speed. We do have the option of putting in an 2500 kV outrunner on a Rhino. That is certainly a possibility. Because the 2500 on a 2-speed would be not just an incomplete thought, a thought I never started. 2,858 grams, 6.3 pounds as outfitted. And as I set him on the scale, I was like, how are we 6.3 pounds? Oh, right, the 1 pound front axle and about 800 grams of wheel and tire. So over 2 pounds, we know we're past 33% unsprung weight. So low speed control should be no issue. It definitely sounds like it's got crawler gear. That rear shock position change, I think, is going to keep the body out of the tires most of the time. Let's pull the shuttle over. That looks pretty nice. I think our breakover should be pretty good. I'm not happy with the rear uppers or the pinion angle. The rear uppers need to be like 8 millimeters longer. But as I said, I have to fabricate that link or find ends that will get me closer to where I want to be, because I don't have a link that does what I want. So no ideas on like weight distribution, anything like that. We're here to ghost ride. Suspension looks good. Turns in nice. Rears seem to be cooperating. He's look at the drop. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, drive that Jeep. I'm kind of liking the messed up spur now. I could spend the rest of the afternoon driving this, but we got to do the things. We're definitely doing that winter in the desert thing. Cold air, hot sun. Get up. Get up. We're gonna find a rig that landmines are the jam. We're gonna find it. Do I think this is it? No. Like, yeah, we're too slow. And I don't want to have to shift into second gear to bump. So, oh, come on. I don't have the speed. But I got the low speed for days, weeks, months, and years. He does not feel tippy. Oh, landmine's doing okay. He does feel clicky. Click, 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 click. Steering feels good. Man, that thing is really clicking and clacking. I'm surprised at how good the link geometry and suspension setup feels. And with the servo forward, you get a lot of steering response. It's steering the servo that far out in front of the axle, like the weight helps. I think the servo has more leverage. It's definitely, we don't get panhard interferences, so the front end moves a lot more smoothly. I think our side hill, I don't have a forecast. I'm not expecting magic though. Like, if we can't clear yellows, I'll be fine with that. I just don't want the mid-hill flopper where we get to like right here and it just falls away. It doesn't feel like it's gonna fall away. It doesn't feel super light, high side. Feeling a little light there. We've got some torque twist issues. Full lock left just stuffs the right fender into the tire, like the body just twists over, and it doesn't do it when steering the other way. So that leads me to believe front upper too short, so it's allowing the axle to roll. So we're just crushing down on that side. Not noticeable in any, I was going to say in any other handling condition. But yeah, like it's going to put that back down. Okay with that. All right, we'll go a higher entry. We'll see how that do. Remember, he is 18 to 20%. Yeah, I feel like it's rear link. I don't like the link angle. I don't like the link length disparity. Slow. That was a very slow fall. So I think for completely untuned, the off the bench OTB out of the box, we're okay. We're better than bad, at least. We're not log status, but we're getting there. And more important than some other X factors, he looks good. Breakover is good. Departure is pretty good. Approach is great. We got that bumper slammed in there. He doesn't drive heavy. He feels lighter than he is because so much of that weight is unsprung. See if that underdrive will swing us around. Yeah, there's almost no bump in him because you can't wind it up. Well, now that maneuver right there, popping off the side of that rock, I don't want sliders now. I just want a body that deforms out of the way. I'm good with that. And then look right there. Look at the bumper just. Yeah, he's got all the right. He's the mad Kronk, the magical turtle. Yeah. We've got some work, but it's not going to be chasing down something that I don't know what it is. I think the front geometry is closer than the rear. I think, it's going to be a give to get, is what this is going to be. I'm already not happy about it because we're rocking way more caster than we ordinarily would be on a TRX4 axle, and it is really helping the steering response. Also, this is a 20%er, well, 18 to 20%, because he's got overdrive, underdrive, and I don't think we have that in any other TRX4 axle fitted vehicle here. Daphne runs 9%. She just has an underdrive in the back. Tranquish is zeroed. He doesn't have underdrive or overdrive gears. We don't have a lot in our TRX4 axles. Diablo has 20% because he's got the overdrive in the rear to bring the 30 down to 20. This is... Kronk shall be a man of compromise because I need more wheel speed. The low speed control of this is exceptional, as it should be, geared 1145 on a 1200 kV motor. So he is hyper stable. That front end just wants to set down. The geometry is pretty good. I think we've just got some link lengths that need tweaking. Look at this. Landmine's doing the thing. That's a straight pass on that gate. He was never near a marker. This is okay. I think we've got time to attempt something resembling a bump and see if I can actually self-right this thing with a gear combo this slow. So it's mostly that twist to one side, which to me seems like front upper. It's got nice forward drive. So we could, the compromise is gonna be, if I stand that axle up a little, if we lengthen the front upper out a little bit and stand the C-hubs up, we're gonna lose a little bit of steering response. But I think the handling will improve all around, and he's pretty good. Will that pull? Will that pull? Oh, you can hear we're at the functional traction limit of the landmine right here. There it is. Oh, I don't know. They feel pretty good. They feel pretty all right and okay. Wait, get right. Yeah. Stay up there. All right. Come back around. There it is. Oh, it's mostly the fender. The fender flare in the front. There's the hook right at the front of it, and when we can't quite get it to collapse down, I don't know. Maybe stand the front shock up one hole, go down one rate. We're at about 1.4, go down to like a 1.2. And so we'll maintain about the same ride height. But I think the spring rate, the softening of the spring itself, but the stiffening of standing it up more, I think we could get somewhere with that. The approach is just no. Oh, it's right there. This is the best the landmines have felt on anything that they've been on. They've always kind of been the tire that just goes on to stuff. They are right close. Right close. Maybe in upcoming installments, when we finally get our hands on some Injora greens, same thing, same thing we did with the megalithics. Cut some donuts on the sides to fill the tires out. The greens in here might be the deal. Or cut blues, but I've run out all the blues basically got jobs. Like they were like, you're going in this guy and you're going over here. So we'll see how the greens, oh yeah. Landmine's truly doing the thing. Can we stay up here? There we go. He's a wheel down guy. I would have to remove the axles and weigh them together with the wheel tire to get a better picture of unsprung to sprung weight. But I'm thinking just based on the feel of the handling, it's got to be around 40%. And that body, I think the body doesn't actually have a lot of weight up high. It looks heavier than it is. Landmine is doing great. I don't know. There are definitely some situations that I get into where I feel like, ooh, he is too slow. I mean, we can try to frame here. So we'll get right here. That's wide open, baby. And then there's 75% reverse. And that's wide open, baby. It's a little slow. Look how nice he sits though. Because we just want to slam everything. But the royal we, that Jeep, that's how it should look to me. I think that looks a-okay, baby. We've got some tweaking to do for sure, but I am more pleased than I thought I would be for something that 36 hours ago did not exist. It's little tweaks. I think getting the body seated was the most difficult thing that I'm going to have to do in the whole thing of this. Like, other than that, he's going to be great. So I'll get to work on that, and I will get to work on setting some trays out and tearing this body all the way down. I don't think I'm going to strip it. I think I'm going to make some masks, either out of chamois tape or just masking tape. And I'm going to paint it silver on the outside. And then I'm going to paint it camouflage over the silver. And then I'll screw all the pieces back together, and Kronk will be a guy. I don't want silver wheels. I think he's crying for, if you're going to camouflage something, I think it's crying for black wheels. And I might go to a little bit more pancake. Take him down to maybe 9 1/4, maybe 9-inch. I can take 6 millimeters off, I think. I think he's on regular 9s here, and I could go to 6s, which will take 6 millimeters of track width off. Not a lot. I think he's pretty all right. Yeah, as I watched right there, that driver rear, it tucks up pretty nice into the fender well there. So, Kronk is looking, for how young he is, he's a very young boy. For how young he is looking strong. He's also definitely getting painted black on the inside because I can see the sun coming through the body, and I don't like that. It breaks the tiny toy car illusion for me. Anyway, I don't have enough time to edit this. Hopefully this will be HD by the time you guys are actually watching it. So I'm going to bid you a quick adieu here in the new year, in 2024. The first wheel of the new year, the first ride of the new year. It came from the Workbench 30, literally and figuratively clicking along. I will see you all in the next installment, whatever that might be, hopefully in the new year. Stuff that's on order will start showing up, so we can get to that. And I am going to start going through some of the ideas thrown out in the comments for video ideas. We'll get working on making those. And I'll see you again real soon. So, what a way to end. It doesn't get better than that. We'll see you next time, everybody.